While a section of the party was very confident, but there seems to have been other sections which were not so confident of what's going to happen in Madhya Pradesh, and it's been a resounding victory for the BJP. So each state would have a different reason why the result happened. I'm not suggesting that there can't be a common theme between the three states, but there could also be very differing reasons why the results in the three states were. But as I said, all this is drowning the stellar performance of the Congress, which was written off just even a few months ago, saying that we were a no-hoper in Telangana. We've had a tremendous victory there and a resurgent victory there, and that unfortunately that bright sparkle and bloom is not being acknowledged enough.
But Mr. Karti Chidambaram, here's a data point. Since 2011, since Tarun Gogoi got re-elected in Assam, you have never won a major, you've not got re-elected in a major state. The BJP's got re-elected in Madhya Pradesh, it's got re-elected in UP, it's got re-elected in Uttarakhand, it's got re-elected in Haryana. There is clearly a distinction between the BJP's ability to capitalize on pro-incumbency and the Congress's failure. Will the Congress introspect? Will there be some accountability? Or is it business as usual, saying we won Telangana, all is well?
No. Just because I acknowledge the victory of Telangana and I find a sparkle in today's news, it does not mean we won't introspect. It does not mean we won't analyze the data. It does not mean that we won't do course correction. It does not mean that we will sharpen our communication. It does not mean any of that. The data is just coming in. I don't think we have
Mr. Chidambaram,
data is available at the moment.
But sir, is there at least acceptance with one fact that the Congress has completely come to zero grips when it comes down to the Hindi heartland? South, you say it's a sparkle, but Telangana, yes, well-deserved win. But when it comes, is there acceptance finally that you're losing the narrative where the Hindi heartland is concerned, or you're clueless when it comes to it?
See, I'm not a native Hindi speaker, so my understanding of Hindi heartland politics is rather limited, and I don't have first-hand knowledge or experience in dealing with Hindi heartland politics. Obviously, there is the BJP is stealing a march over us in the Hindi heartland politics, and the people who are actually handling the affairs of the party in those areas are the ones who must really introspect and make course correction, and which we will. We are a mature political party. We will adapt, we will introspect, we will analyze, and we will react. It's not as if we are an unthinking bunch of people. We are a thinking bunch of people. We understand what's happening, and we accept it. Sometimes, I'm a sportsman. Sometimes the odds are against you, and you go through a streak in which you're not winning, but you innovate, you find ways, you grit it out, and you stand there. You don't concede and walk away. I understand the odds we are fighting against.
So in conclusion, will you accept that 2024 appears more and more a done deal, that it is advantage BJP? Will you concede that advantage BJP, if not a done deal?
You see, the 2018 election results, the assembly election results, did not reflect in the 2019 parliamentary polls. So I was not going to read the 2023 assembly results as some sort of a reflection of the 2024 elections. But I understand what we are facing in the Hindi heartland. We all acknowledge what's happening in the Hindi heartland. We are aware of our performance in the last two parliamentary elections there, and we are also aware of what has happened today. We will take everything into account, and we will do everything possible to correct course and to communicate better and to stick to and to come up with a narrative which will capture the imagination of the people in the Hindi heartland.
Okay, let's leave it there.
Wants to ask the question.
Yes, go ahead, Rashid.
Today, Rahul Gandhi has said that his fight for a Congress ideology will continue. What is this Congress ideology? Because in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh and all, there was a pronounced focus on positive Hindutva or something like that, a soft Hindutva.
No, our ideology is apart from the secular plank, is also egalitarian growth. It's not about just growth for in a statistical level, which is only skewed at the top. It's egalitarian growth, carrying every section of society. So every section of society is equally benefited from the growth of the economy and the prosperity of India. It's an egalitarian society, an equal society, and a just society, where the rule of law will apply to everybody equally, and there will be no fear of favor in applying the law, and it will be a secular. When I say secular, a government which will not favor anyone or discriminate against anyone else because of their faith, gender, or any other orientation.
All right, Mr. Chidambaram, let it be. Congratulations on Telangana. You said you will introspect when it comes down to the Hindi heartland, but maybe it will go beyond that on what has been lip service of the last time for a robust opposition. Appreciate you joining us, Mr. Chidambaram. With that, let's put the focus right now back to the BJP headquarters in the national capital, all decked up. These are scenes we've seen so many times before. The celebrations in the states have ebbed a little. The spotlight's now bright where the BJP headquarters is concerned. The Prime Minister, who's practically the showstopper, Rajdeep, of this election, will be coming in any time now. Amit Shah, who many would say, we've referred to the Amit Shah school of politics many a times over, and credit needs to be given to him as well. He was there in Madhya Pradesh, and a lot of politicking, getting things together, the back room of it all was managed by him, and it shows right now with the numbers stack up.
What is remarkable about Amit Shah is his ability to bounce back. In June this year, in May this year, he lost Karnataka. He invested a lot of his political capital there as well. Loses that election. 6 months later, bounces back. And particularly Madhya Pradesh, where he invested a lot of his time micromanaging, putting in senior leaders in crucial districts in charge, sending union ministers, making them contest MLAs elections, getting these daily tracker polls done, looking for which other communities, regions that need to be targeted. Similarly in Chhattisgarh, recognizing that there is a large vote for others, seeing how can the BJP work some kind of deals in a way with parties like the BSP, with JCC, the Jharkhand Congress, Chhattisgarh Congress, creating therefore the kind of strategic depth that the Congress lacks. You see, what Amit Shah is bringing to the table at the moment in the BJP is this ability to relentlessly focus on the last mile connectivity, the booths, the mandals. That's where elections are being won and lost by the BJP. And that's why Amit Shah, I think, deserves a lot of the credit. Now, you could argue without Mr. Modi's face, maybe some of those strategies would not work. That's possible. And we've seen that in other elections, that where Mr. Modi hasn't been able to sort of pull up the BJP, even the strategy hasn't worked. But Amit Shah is relentless. On the very day that voting was going on in Telangana, he was off to Bengal to address a major rally saying, 2026, we're going to come to Bengal and win Bengal. So you've got a leader who just doesn't stop. The Modi Shah double engine, whether one likes, whichever way one sees it, seems to work every now and then.
Well, Rajdeep, we have with us Mr. Manikam Tagore from the Congress. He's two of the three people to be credited with the Congress victory in Telangana by Mr. Revanth Reddy himself. Appreciate you joining us, Mr. Tagore. And first up, congratulations on a spectacular win in Telangana. We're going to ask you questions on what went wrong in the Hindi heartland. But first, congratulations there. You've always been a proponent of Mr. Revanth Reddy as the Chief Minister of Telangana. He's credited you as one of for the win of Telangana as well.
No, I like to correct that. I left Telangana 1 year before. Now I'm in the state of this Rajdeep Sardesai state, in Goa. I was one of those people in charges when Revanth Reddy was appointed as the Congress president. And now Manika Thackeray, senior leader from Maharashtra, is there to look after, and they have delivered Telangana. And I hope that Congress party will have the usual democratic processes, and then Congress leadership will decide about the chief minister of Telangana.
In your view, is Revanth Reddy the front runner? Would it be fair to say he's at least the front runner?
I think that any Congress worker, any MLA from the Congress party, whomever is there are capable people, and Congress leadership will take right decision, and all will accept it. That's my view.
No, that's a very diplomatic answer. You know Revanth Reddy well. You can smile and
always
answer the
backed him.
question. Would you accept that he's the man who's going to lead your party in Hyderabad or not? Is he? Would you agree that he's the chosen one? He's the most likely.
He is the Congress president who has Pradesh Congress president who has fought this election very seriously with all other leaders. CLP leader Bhakti Vikramaditya is also there, and Uttam Reddy ji, the former PCC president, is also there. Among them, there will be a choice which will be decided as the Congress president, Congress president, and the Congress High Command will decide about the chief minister. Which is, I am not involved in it. I feel that the right decision.
Mr. Trigodi, you've been a part in Telangana. Yes, you've moved right now, but you've scripted at least the comeback of the Congress part where Telangana is concerned. Now, what led to that momentum that you won with the way you have won today?
Yeah, it's a very satisfying day today when we hear this thing that we were a little upset with the Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan results, but Telangana gave us the hope, because Telangana, when the state was formed in 13, when I was also an MP in that time when we voted, there were a lot of Telangana's in the House in Lok Sabha, but we could not win that state in 14, and 18 also we lost. For that, from 2020 when I was given the charge, we started to work for a plan for a longer path, because it is not one day affair, it is not 1 year effort of parties which can defeat any party organization. It's a consistency which is needed, and they had a state leader like Revanth Reddy who was able to work hard and build a momentum, and the Bharat Jodo Yatra, which
Mr. Trigodi, we'll ask you just one quick question before we let you go, and that comes from the fact, is there now at least acceptance where the Congress comes into question that you've completely lost grips of what the voters, what the people want, where the Hindi heartland is concerned? Your language is just not tracking.
No, that is a little harsh, because Chhattisgarh, we have not been rooted. We need to understand that Chhattisgarh still we are having 10 short of the majority mark, 10 short of the majority mark, and 15 short in
Mr. Trigodi, a loss is a loss. You were expected to win Chhattisgarh.
But we are having 40% of vote share. We need to understand we made mistake. I can't say that if we don't make a mistake, we'll lose. But we can't say that we have been thrown out of. We are a very bad loss. It is not like that. We lost it, but we need to accept it that we have lost it. But I will not accept that thing that it's a huge loss, because 40% vote share we still hold in these 4 states, 3 states particularly. And we will be, there is a comeback. The Congress will come back, and Congress had come back in the past also. And if we work and the young leadership is promoted, I sincerely hope that we can come back in these states.
I like that last line, that we hope that the young leadership is promoted. Maybe you're finally telling us something. You accept that it's time for maybe the Sachin pilots to step forward. Maybe it's time to find a new leadership in Madhya Pradesh as well. At least you accept that.
Young leadership is the Congress party is a party which gives a lot of youngsters that opportunity. Sachin Pilot has been made as the PCC president, and he has delivered that state in 2018. And every state, DK Shivkumar was given that opportunity. He has delivered in Karnataka. There are leaders, Congress party grows, but there are these kind of decisions Congress leadership has to take it, and it usually takes that thing.
Okay.
I'm convinced that Madhya Pradesh also will be taken.
Let's leave it there. Let's raise this, Preeti, because I think there is some interest. There is some interest in knowing whether the pilot factor could have had an impact in Rajasthan. Rashid, what's your sense, both of you? Rashid, Preeti, what's your sense? Could Sachin Pilot have made a difference, Rashid?
I think, a material difference if the decision was taken a year ago, like September 2022, when the so-called CLP meeting could not take place. I think if that was the time, if Sachin was given reins of power, then the outcome would have been different. Precisely, things would have been very, very different, drastically different.
Mr. Gehlot says the MLAs were not accepting Sachin Pilot.
No, on the first place, I think if you look at it in 2018, MLAs were not for Ashok Gehlot. It was, I think Rahul Gandhi fundamentally made a mistake that day itself on 14th of December 2018, when he failed to appoint Jyotirita Scindia and Sachin Pilot, the chief ministers of Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan respectively.
Why did he choose Gehlot? Is it because there was pressure from the so-called old guard, the likes of
Absolutely.
Ahmed Patel?
You know better than me, Ahmed Patel, all of them, the old guard, the close ranks, and that's how Ashok Gehlot was elected.
Preeti, do you also see Sachin Pilot getting his moment now in the sun, given the fact that Ashok Gehlot has now led the party to defeat, or do you believe Mr. Gehlot is still indispensable?
I think Sachin Pilot's time has come in terms of there is no option for the Congress. How do you go ahead from here? And, you need a fresh young face. You understand that. Sachin Pilot pulls in not just a particular vote, but especially clicks where the youth is concerned. You need a fresh booster of young blood where Rajasthan is concerned. And maybe he is the only option right now. But Rajasthan, there's a lot of fine print to the Rajasthan election as well. Very interesting. I was looking at it, 184 seats is where the BSP is also for this election. Out of which about 23 seats, the BSP has polled more than the winning margin of the Congress or the Bharatiya Janata Party in this election. It's fascinating with what's going on. We also have Pratyush Kant, Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson. Mr. Kant, first up, accept congratulations. It's a big day for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Absolute rout in Madhya Pradesh of the Congress, a big win in Rajasthan, and a big emphatic win in Chhattisgarh as well. Mr. Kant, can you hear me?
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Mr. Kant,
One thing I was wondering.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, I can hear you.
Go ahead,
Can you
sir.
hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much. I was listening to everybody for a long time. I just want to make few things which I've really heard from Mr. Chidambaram also and Congress spokesperson also. One thing which is very important, that for last almost 5-6 months, in every editorial of the newspaper I was seeing, people were saying there's no chance of BJP in Chhattisgarh. The best figure they were putting out was 18. Same was happening for Madhya Pradesh. There is like a fatigue of the government and blah, blah, blah. The big thing which the result shows, now in Indian democracy, only those parties will survive which have organization. And Bharatiya Janata Party is the only party which has solid organization. Like could be Madhya Pradesh, could be Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, and even in Telangana. We may take time to make that deep inroads, but once we make inroads, there is no way we go out of it. And then we also have a very strong report card to give to people. They have to understand, the political strategists of Delhi, that BJP works in a very different fashion. It's absolutely Karyakarta-oriented party. The Panna Pramukh is like God. He is the best guy who gives you a feedback, rather than having photo optic moment which Rahul Gandhi was doing for his Bharat Yatra, and both mistakes which Gehlot did and Baghel did. Both of them invested too much on themselves. Huge ads, huge what great they are. The party was suffering. They had nothing to offer. In Gehlot regime, there were like 14 paper leaks, 1 lakh crime against women, Dalit cases, Red Diary, same in Chhattisgarh, corruption after corruption. And now with social media, television, channels like your channel, people are aware what is happening in which state. This family-oriented politics cannot last now. The time is over for them. Only those parties will last, which like today, you could be an MP, tomorrow you're fighting an MLA election, next day you may be doing an organizational job. This is a party, it's a cadre-driven party. You do a job which you're given, asked to do. In Congress party, it's the one family which decides. Now there was a time they could do it. Now, much things have changed because Narendra Modi has changed the narrative. Every Karyakarta.
Pratyush, you make a fine point about the BJP being a cadre-based party. You make a point about BJP being organizationally different, but it's always been like that. It was even that in the Advani-Vajpayee era. What has changed between then and now? Is it the weakness of the Congress that the Congress has become weaker, or under Modi Shah, the BJP has become much more of a ruthless election machine? What has changed? Because you were always a cadre-based party, but now you seem to get greater successes than before. So what has changed between then and now?
Sir, who knows more than you? We have grown as a party. The things that the young journalists you have seen during Advani and Vajpayee's period has now changed. We have become very big. We have got a totally new set of leaders. And we keep changing. There are new people who are always entering. The random people, you could be a bright student, a hard worker. Everybody has place in Bharatiya Janata Party. In Congress, you have to have that blue blood. You have to have, you have to be a chela of a neta to be there. It's not like this. And then you have so much work is being done. Development has become such an issue. Every Karyakarta is told what all we have done, what the center has done, what the state has done. So when you go, let's look at Chhattisgarh. In 4 months' time, the whole narrative changed. We got lakhs of women to sign for us. We told them what we were going to give to you. I'll give you an example to just illustrate my point. The betel leaf, the tendua patta. So you know how the process takes place? You buy with tendua patta, फिर आप उसको सुखाते हैं, and then it goes for sale. 1000 का packet बनाने में takes its time. And 1 month, the guy gets to sell it. What you did, you said only one day we will sell it. Now you have lost hundreds of very poor people's vote, which people sitting in Delhi who are writing those columns have no idea what is happening at the ground level. Same is true for those forest welfare schemes. 70 items are being sold. So the people at the ground, the subaltern level people are the ones who are getting those benefits. And that reflects in today's election. So Congress does not only need to retrospect, they have to really get out of a family mode. They have to open their party. They have to let the free, more blood come. And that's not going to happen there.
You're right there, sir. Somewhere down the line, the BJP has become synonymous with the subaltern dream. Appreciate you joining us, Mr. Kant. Let's quickly, Rajdeep, dip in to Raman Singh. At one point of time, he was unsure if he was going to get a ticket from his party to fight the election today. He hopes to be Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh. Will that happen? But we don't quite know. But listen.
बदलने वाले पूर्व सीएम डॉक्टर रमन सिंह हमारे साथ है और 3 बार सीएम रहने के बाद सिर्फ 5 साल का मौका दिया आपने कांग्रेस को और फिर से अपना गढ़ उनसे छीन लिया है। किस तरह से देखते हैं इस जीत को?
निश्चित रूप से जनता ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी के ऊपर भरोसा किया है और ये भरोसा 15 साल के विकास और मोदी जी के गारंटी पे भरोसा किया है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी की घोषणा पत्र कांग्रेस के 5 साल की असफलता और असफलता में महिलाओं के साथ जो छल किया गया, शराबबंदी की बात, युवकों के साथ छल किया गया, 10 लाख नवयुवकों को बेरोजगारी भत्ता, 2 लाख कर्मचारियों को स्थायी करने की बात, ऐसे झूठे वादे करके सरकार में आने वाला भूपेश बघेल, उसको जनता उसके चेहरे को बदलना चाहती थी और जबरदस्त रूप से उसके खिलाफ आक्रोश था। पूरे मंत्रिमंडल के खिलाफ कोई विकास के काम नहीं हुए और इसलिए आज बदलाव की बात आई और जनता ने समय मिलते ही बदल दिया।
बावजूद उसके भूपेश बघेल 75 पार का नारा दे रहे थे, लेकिन देखने को ये मिला कि बीजेपी 15 से सीधे 55 तक पहुंच गई है। क्या आपको एक्सपेक्टेड था कि ऐसे आंकड़े, अद्भुत आंकड़े मिल सकते हैं?
एग्जिट पोल ने बता दिया था कि बीजेपी का ग्रोथ बढ़ रहा है और कांग्रेस घट रहा है। इनका नीचे गिरावट 40 तक आया था, बीजेपी का 48 तक दिया था। तो जो ग्रोथ दिखाया था वो ग्रोथ रुझान दिखा रहा था और रुझान के अनुसार ही रिजल्ट आया।
भूपेश बघेल के मंत्रिमंडल के सभी मंत्रियों को अपने घर भेज दिया। आपने रायपुर की 7 सीटों पर अपना सिक्का जमा लिया है और कई ऐसी जगह है जहां से बीजेपी बढ़त में है। क्या कुछ किया, क्या कुछ मुद्दे रहे बीजेपी के जो इस तरह की सफलता मिली है?
सारे मुद्दे वो चाहे शहरी क्षेत्र हो चाहे ग्रामीण क्षेत्र का हो, सबके लिए घोषणा पत्र में कुछ न कुछ महत्वपूर्ण स्थान दिया गया और पार्टी ने पूरी ताकत झोंकी। एक ही कार्यकर्ता लगा रहा, बूथ स्तर तक लोग लगे रहे।
सबकी नजर बस अब उसी पर टिकी हुई है कि अगला सीएम कौन होगा। क्या आप फिर एक बार 4th टर्म के सीएम देखने को मिलेंगे?
सीएम का चयन हो जाएगा, विधायक दल की बैठक होगी और बैठक में तय हो जाएगा। 1 घंटा नहीं लगेगा।
बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं आपको। तो ये थे डॉक्टर रमन सिंह जो फिर एक बार सीएम पद की रेस में हमें दिख रहे हैं और एक बड़ी जीत हासिल करने के बाद अब वो अपने पार्टी मुख्यालय अपने कार्यकर्ता पदाधिकारियों से मिलने पहुंचने वाले हैं। कैमरा पर्सन सचिन साउंड के साथ।
So Rajdeep, let me ask you this question again. Do you see Raman Singh back in the Chief Minister's chair, or the BJP is going to pick a fresh face?
Preeti, for the very reasons that you heard Pratyush, and I agree with a lot of the points he makes, the BJP is organizationally robust. And what is it? How do you make it organizationally robust? By creating mobility within. That you don't have the same old faces for 30, 35 years. Raman Singh's been 3-time Chief Minister. The BJP will obviously now see an opportunity with a comfortable majority to bring in someone else. Lots of names are being mentioned. There is the possibility of bringing in an OBC face. There's a possibility of bringing in a tribal face. Various names have been mentioned during the campaign. Arun Soy, who's the BJP state president, is one of the front runners. There is Om Prakash Chaudhary, who's seen as a possible deputy chief minister. He's young. He's a former bureaucrat who's become now a politician. There are lots of, you see that, you have to give the BJP credit for the way they've built themselves into a proper party organization. True. You see the Congress in all these states where eventually how did Bhupesh Baghel come? He only came into the race when tragically the entire Congress leadership was wiped out during the Maoist attack that took place. That's when you effected the generational change. Until then you might have well had the VC Shuklas and all of the world who still had a role to play in Chhattisgarh politics, just turned to Madhya Pradesh. I mean, Kamal Nath is 77. He may claim that he's still, young and energetic, but the truth of the matter is that Congress is crying out for a younger leadership. Digvijay Singh has been there now for 30 years. That's 2 generations. That's not enough. Why
what happens? Okay, so before we go back, and we've got one camera right now at the BJP headquarters. Is what we're expecting viewers any time right now. The Prime Minister's cavalcade will pull in. He's the star today. Kid you not. And we're going to hear him speak as well. His face was on the ticket on all the 3 states that the BJP has won handsomely. So yes, if this victory belongs to Shivraj Chauhan, it is Prime Minister Modi who ultimately was on that ticket. We're going to cut across to Polomi, but those visuals coming in from their vantage position of our cameras. But Rashid Kidwai, what happens to the likes of Ashok Gehlot right now? Bhupesh Baghel or even a Kamal Nath?
I think Kamal Nath, Gehlot, it's a sunset time. So what
you really think somebody like Ashok Gehlot who says that
Gehlot has already become pretty, as you know, it become persona non grata. I don't think he's going to find any place. I think Bhupesh Baghel is the only person who may become a ICC General Secretary or something like that.
Both of them.
It's a sunset time for Ashok Gehlot for certain. Kamal Nath would be there as a CWC member or something like that for some time.
Okay. Rajiv, do you see a sunset time for Ashok Gehlot? In hindsight, he should have picked to be party president now. Look at Mr. Kharge right now.
Lavon ne khata ki, sadiyon ne saza pai.
To me, Ashok Gehlot at 72, you would think is sunset, but I don't think it is.
Yeah.
You see, what the old guard politicians do in the Congress is that because they have their network so well established and so entrenched, even when they lose, they have sufficient number of MLAs who will say, no, we want this individual to be our CLP leader. This generational change has to be effected when you have a strong high command that is able to tell Mr. Gehlot, look, Mr. Gehlot, you've been around for 25 years, you've done a wonderful job, you've been a 3-time chief minister, let's try someone else.
And if Kamal Nath can do it at 77, Gehlot is only 72 right now.
You see, it's not going to be easy, but if the Congress wants to take a chance, I just read Jairam Ramesh's tweet, and Jairam Ramesh's tweet says that, we lost in 2003 in these 3 states and came back in 2004.
But Rajiv, don't you think there's a certain amount of delusion attached?
Of course it is. And the only way to end it is to effect a generational change.
Which will happen. Do you see it
politics, no, I'm not sure it will happen, Preeti, but politics has to be disrupted and risk-taking.
Okay, did you see it happening?
Yeah, I think the Congress had opportunity in 2018. They had a similar moment like, Rajiv was referring about Dr. Raman Singh. I think the Congress made a fundamental mistake in 2018 in picking...
Does the Congress realize
precisely.
that? Because
there is no realization. I think, if you're talking that Rahul Gandhi is for change and Rahul Gandhi is for, post Bharat Jodo Yatra is the leader, now it's the time for him to implement these things.
Okay, well, we'll see. Let's cut across right now. Polomi Saha, the BJP flag, Polomi fluttering away on our television screens. And with what Rajdeep and our other guests have been talking about, a solid organization to back the party outfit. And one of the examples of that organization, Polomi, orchestrated to the T, right behind you, is in this ceremony, which always comes up after a big spectacular win of the Bharatiya Janata Party. What are we expecting? Are we going to expect the Prime Minister to speak? Absolutely, Preeti. The Prime Minister will be speaking over here. The stage is already set, quite literally, for that mega address from the Prime Minister. I'm standing inside the BJP headquarters extension office right now. This is the new office that the BJP has built just a couple of months ago. This is still some amount of work is still going on, but they've decided to, in fact, have this mega celebration inside the space over here. And top leaders, Anand ji, बस एक शब्द हमारे लिए, हमारे साथ आनंद जी, किस तरह से देखते हैं मध्य प्रदेश की इस जीत को, राजस्थान, छत्तीसगढ़?
ये मोदी की गारंटी पर जनता का भरोसा, सब लोग ने कोशिश करी जनता के बीच में पहुंचाने के लिए, जनता को भरोसा केवल मोदी की गारंटी पर है, इसके कारण से इतनी बड़ी जीत हुई है।
मोदी जी की गारंटी लोकसभा में भी चलेगी?
निश्चित रूप से ये सेमीफाइनल है, ये बता ही रहा है कि मोदी जी की गारंटी सारे देश में चलने वाली है।
पर अब जो चीज होगी, अब वो है मुख्यमंत्री का चुनाव।
वो तो उसमें कोई समस्या नहीं है, हमारी पार्टी सामूहिक नेतृत्व से चलती है, केंद्रीय नेतृत्व तय करेगा, विधायक तय करेंगे।
मोदी है तो that is what Anuj Jain, member of parliament of the BJP, has to say. Of course, Modi hai to guarantee hai is the new slogan, which is of course that is reverberating across the BJP party headquarters. Large screens that have been put up inside, outside as well, for the crowds who have not been able to enter the party headquarters, so they can of course see that mega speech that the Prime Minister will be making over here, the victory speech, and there'll be a victory lap as well, because this entire space at the centre, Mridul could possibly zoom in over there, Mridul. That entire space has been kept empty, so the Prime Minister is expected to walk that entire stretch all the way up to the dais, which is on my left, in order to address the Karakatas over here. So the Karakatas extremely ecstatic about this moment. Unprepared to celebrate in this mega way, because all of this, Preeti, this arrangement which has been made, the loudspeakers, all the technical equipment here, the stage, the security, and all of that has kind of happened towards the afternoon itself. Usually the BJP is a little better prepared. But Polomi, that's just a fraction of how good they are at organizing events and the organizational strength of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Polomi, what are you hearing in terms of Chief Minister probables both for Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh? What's the backroom talk? Well, as far as Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh are concerned, obviously the BJP, we've been putting out those names of the probables. The BJP is looking at several options. There is, of course, the stalwart, the veteran leader, Vasundhara Raje Scindia, who was seen as someone who was sidelined in this election. But then, of course, in a small measure, she was used by the party as well. She, of course, continues to be a very strong contender, and she will be throwing a weight as far as, that election of the new Chief Minister of Rajasthan is concerned. There is a lot of talk about Diya Singh as well, but the fact is, Diya Kumari as well, I beg your pardon, but the fact is, I'm not hearing much buzz around her name. Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, again, one of the names that did the rounds, but, that was also a name that everyone thought would possibly contest the assembly elections. Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, Kailash Chaudhary as well, Arjun Ram Meghwal as well. These were not names that were put on the ticket as far as these elections were concerned. Given that Madhya Pradesh saw at least 7 members of parliament, including 3 union ministers, contest, that same card was not played in Rajasthan except for Rajbardhan Singh Rathod, Baba Balak Nath, Diya Kumari. These were some of the names, but these other stalwart names were not put on the ticket as far as Rajasthan elections were concerned. But that isn't to say that the BJP will not spring a surprise, or they couldn't possibly be brought in to lead the charge of the state on behalf of the party as Chief Minister. Yogi Adityanath is a classic example.